So let's start with live news television that probably most of us watch at some point. It is an important source of information for many people, and it can be useful in staying informed. And the recent COVID-19 pandemic has shown how important the access to information is, as crucial decisions regarding lockdowns, for instance, were announced on television. However, when you don't hear well, or when there is no sound, it can be hard to understand TV content. You can perhaps just read the headlines and that's it. The World Health Organization recently estimated that globally, 15% of people, of adults, have some degree of hearing loss, which means that the large portion of the population can struggle with understanding television content. And here, subtitles and sign language interpreting can help. And all major broadcasters in Poland are now legally obliged to use subtitles for some of their programs, and they do so. If you watch a film with subtitles, like if you go to a cinema or on a VOD platform, these subtitles are prepared beforehand. However, most news television content is, of course, live. And so subtitles have to be prepared live as well, either fully live or partially live. And those partially live subtitles are also called semi-live subtitles. This way, we can make news television accessible to the deaf and the hard of hearing viewers, and it make watching more comfortable for other groups of viewers as well. However, it is important to note that for live subtitles to fulfill their role, their purpose in making TV accessible, they have to be of good quality. That's why the objective of my dissertation was to investigate the quality of live subtitling in Polish on news TV channels. And I have asked the following research questions. Do the deaf and the hard of hearing viewers have effective access to news television thanks to subtitling? In other words, whether subtitles reflect the content accurately and are intelligible, allow the audience to really understand what people are talking about. The second question was, does the quality of live subtitles differ between broadcasters in Poland? And the third question, does the quality differ between those live subtitles and semi-live subtitles? Finally, I asked, has the quality increased or decreased over time? And my expectation, my hypothesis was that semi-live subtitling, which is partially prepared before, delivers better quality because there's just more time to prepare it than live subtitling. I also expected that the quality of live subtitling is increasing over time because broadcasters gain more experience in providing this service. To find out the answers to these questions, I analyzed samples from 96 television shows from 3 Polish broadcasters, 3 news channels, TVP Info, Polsat News, and TVN24. I did that across 3 quarters in 2021 and 2022. And samples were created by recording a 10-minute fragment of each show. The total duration of all samples was 970 minutes, and they included more than 13,000 subtitles. As broadcasters don't make subtitles available for research, at least not in this case, the subtitle files were recreated. So we took video recordings and manually created those subtitles again. They now include the same text, and the subtitles appear and disappear at the same times as in the recording. So these files that I analyzed are identical to what we could see on television in the actual subtitles. And in my study, I wanted to look at many different dimensions of quality. So I used some established metrics of live subtitling quality, such as the NER score, which is a measure of accuracy, whether subtitles really reflect the content well. Latency, which is another word for delay in subtitles. If you have turned on subtitles today and they appear in Zoom, you will see that they will appear with a certain delay that we call in English latency of subtitles. This delay is due to the process of creating the subtitles. And the less delay, of course, the better. I also looked at subtitle speed and text reduction rate, how much subtitles were shorter than the original text, the spoken words of the speakers. As I wanted to look at as many quality dimensions as possible, I also created 2 new metrics, the segmentation score and a measure of gaps between consecutive subtitles. Proper text segmentation, that is dividing the text into two lines of a subtitle and dividing the text between the subtitles and the proper layout of text, is believed to facilitate reading subtitles. So it makes it easier for us to read them. And breaks between consecutive subtitles, that is, one subtitle disappears, there's nothing for a while, and then another one appears. If these breaks are very long, it means we have less time to read what's in those subtitles, and the experience becomes sort of chopped as we are waiting for the next subtitle to appear. The results I analyzed the results then with various statistical methods, including analysis of variance, covariance, correlation, and linear mixed model. And these are the results. So I found that quality of live subtitles is quite diverse, and it varies actually greatly depending on the broadcaster. Based on all those dimensions that I analyzed, the news programs had subtitles that could be considered either excellent, very good, good, bad, or actually extremely bad, depending on the broadcaster, the type of subtitles, and the quarter from which the samples were taken. The quality of live subtitles for some TV shows was quite good, especially in 2021. There were also many shows where the quality was unacceptable. The subtitles required viewers to read lots of text very, very fast. That's probably not very comfortable for viewers. They were highly delayed, inaccurate, and sometimes incomprehensible. Here we can see the results of accuracy, or the NER score, for the three broadcasters across the three quarters. So we can see here in green Polsat, TVP, and TVN. And there is a wide agreement that using this NER score, the threshold of good quality is above the value of 98, which I'm showing here. So as you can see, two of these broadcasters, Polsat and TVP, in some of the quarters that I analyzed in 2021, they were able to pass this threshold, and on average, the subtitles they were producing were quite okay in terms of accuracy. However, in some other quarters, we can see that the subtitles are below or very far below the threshold of acceptable quality in terms of accuracy. This finding is also important because we know that in these two broadcasters in the first analyzed quarter here, they used the methods of creating live subtitling, which is called respeaking with live correction. So this result shows that this method is an effective method of creating live subtitles in Polish, something that the broadcasters were not sure of several years ago. And we can see that this method can be used in TV stations in Poland to obtain good quality results in terms of accuracy, similar to those obtained in other countries, such as in the UK. So that's a good thing. And this method works in the following way. Here we can see the two live subtitles at work. So there is one live subtitle, the respeaker, who is listening to the audio from the program to the speaker and is repeating or summarizing or rephrasing the words into the microphone, adding punctuation marks like full stop, comma, or question mark. This text is then displayed on screen, and another live subtitler is looking at it, identifying errors, that is, words which were misrecognized by the speech recognition system, and corrects it. This way, viewers get an improved text, improved subtitles. So the results show that some of the broadcasters who used this method, they obtained quite good results. The results also show that, as expected, semi-live subtitles have better quality than those prepared fully live. That's because there's more time to prepare them, which confirms the recommendation that broadcasters should not create live subtitles for those shows when they can use semi-live subtitles, when there's some pre-written text, such as a news bulletin, where some of the text is written before and can be used to create subtitles. When it comes to accuracy, both TVP and Polsat use semi-live subtitles quite successfully for news bulletins and achieve good results. They passed or almost passed the acceptable, they passed the acceptable threshold in all the quarters, as you can see here. Unfortunately, not all broadcasters use semi-live subtitles. TVN24 does not use them, does not provide subtitles for news bulletins which is a real shame. And unfortunately, when we're looking at the quality of both live and semi-live subtitles, it has deteriorated over time for all the three news channels. So going back to this result on accuracy, to make it easier to understand, the NER score is often recalculated to a 10-point scale. And we could say that the results change for Polsat and TVP from 5 out of 10 to 2 out of 10, whereas in the case of TVN, it's 0 out of 10 in all the quarters. When it comes to other dimensions such as latency or how delayed the subtitles are, we can see that the latency, the delay is quite high. It's on average more than 15 seconds. Polsat used to have a much smaller delay, less than 10 seconds, but recently the delay has increased for this broadcaster as well. When it comes to subtitle speed or how fast the subtitles are displayed, how much text viewers have to read, here the averages are misleading. So instead we are looking at ranges, and we can see that this color yellow indicates subtitles where there are more than 18 characters per second. That's quite high. And the red color indicates subtitles where there are more than 25 characters per second. That is clearly extremely high. Most viewers might struggle to read at this pace. Regarding the new metrics I introduced, the segmentation value showed that TVP is quite good at ensuring proper segmentation. The value is higher when there are more errors. So you can see that for the blue line, there are almost no errors. Segmentation is almost perfect. It used to be very good for Polsat as well, and it has changed recently, and we can see much more segmentation errors now. When it comes to the average gap between subtitles, we can see it's much higher for TVN. It's almost 2 seconds on average. So one subtitle disappears and there's no subtitle for 2 seconds. And that's because if you look at the verbatim transcript, we don't have to read that, but you can see here on the left, the verbatim transcript of what the guests say. And on the right, this is the text in the subtitle. So it's heavily summarized. One subtitle appears, it disappears. There's nothing for a few seconds, and then another subtitle disappears. That's what the data also showed us. When it comes to reduction rate or how summarized the subtitles are, how many fewer words there are in the subtitles, we can see they used to be heavily summarized for all the broadcasters. That is not necessarily a bad thing. If the subtitles are summarized or condensed correctly and still express the main ideas, that actually can be a good thing. However, we can see there's a significant change for Polsat here. So it goes from highly summarized subtitles to almost verbatim subtitles when there is little reduction. So there are almost every word is covered. So as we can see, there's been a lot of changes in results for this broadcaster. And as we know from live subtitles working from broadcasters, there has been a change of method. That's the culprit here of those changes in the data. So we know that this broadcaster switched from re-speaking to using automatic speech recognition with live correction. So the text is produced automatically. There's no re-speaker, but there are two live editors who correct this text simultaneously. And we can see the result in the text reduction is now low. There's almost, it's almost word for word. However, at the cost of increasing subtitle speed, which is now very high. And the fact that the transcript is verbatim, is word for word, isn't necessarily a good thing. It doesn't result in good accuracy. Actually, the accuracy has decreased significantly. And interestingly, it actually in this method takes more editors because there are two live editors and they need to take turns. It actually takes more people to use this method. And as the research shows, it doesn't produce as good results as the previous method with re-speaking. Let's sum up the conclusions. My research shows that various aspects, various dimensions of the quality of live subtitles can be measured objectively. It also shows that broadcasters can achieve better results with re-speaking than with automatic speech recognition, even if live correction is added to ASR. Finally, it unfortunately shows that the quality decreases over time. It's primarily a decrease in accuracy. So it's more difficult with time to understand those subtitles. There's more errors, and it's combined with increased latency. So there are more and more delayed which means that it's actually a bit uncomfortable to watch them, or sometimes these subtitles can be very difficult to use. Their results therefore show that the current regulatory framework in Poland has succeeded in providing viewers with more live subtitles for television content, which is a step forward. However, it has not succeeded in providing appropriate quality. Low accuracy and high latency mean that many of the live TV shows that have subtitles, these subtitles either express inaccurate or download false information, what some people could call fake news, or are very difficult to understand. In the worst case scenario, low quality subtitles offer no added value to the users, even as compared to having no subtitling at all. And they provide no real access to TV content for the deaf and the hard of hearing. So for those users, some of the shows out there, they can be followed comfortably, but actually most of the shows with live subtitling, the viewers can struggle with understanding them. I hope this research can serve as a model in terms of measuring various aspects of the quality of live subtitles, and perhaps can be the first step towards regularly monitoring the quality of live subtitles on television. By having regular objective measurements, we can try to make broadcasters more aware of the quality that they provide. Also in my dissertation, I included recommendations specifically for each of the broadcasters and for the National Broadcasting Council on the steps that they can take. Finally, while I focus on objective measures of quality, more reception studies are needed to investigate how these metrics correlate with subjective assessment of the quality done by the viewers themselves. And I believe the task of improving the quality of live subtitles on Polish TV requires effort on part of many stakeholders, many people, but I hope my research is a small step towards this goal. Thank you.